I smiled serenely as I watched my soon-to-be ex-husband Kirk adjust his Italian silk tie in the courthouse bathroom mirror. He hadn't noticed me yet, too busy practicing his victory smirk, the same smirk he'd worn 2 months ago when he and his father orchestrated the greatest theft of my life. My name is Delaney, and until today, I was Mrs. Williamson, devoted wife, brilliant engineer, and the silent architect behind a tech empire that made my husband's family obscenely wealthy. But that was before they decided I'd outlived my usefulness. "Oh!" Kirk startled when he finally saw my reflection. "Trying to squeeze out a few last tears before the judge makes it official?" I adjusted my cream blazer, maintaining eye contact in the mirror. "Actually, I wanted to congratulate you. You and your father played this beautifully." His smirk widened. "Come on, Delaney. You knew what you were marrying into. My father always says—" "Oh, Williamson protects their assets," I finished. Yes, I remember. The courthouse corridor buzzed with activity as we walked to the courtroom. Kirk's father, Colin, stood outside, examining his Rolex with theatrical boredom. He barely acknowledged my presence, typical for a man who'd spent 8 years treating me like an ornamental addition to his son's life. "All parties present for the Williamson dissolution," the clerk called out. Inside, our lawyers took their positions. Mine, Francis, gave me a subtle nod. I'd chosen him specifically for his poker face. The judge reviewed our settlement agreement, if you could call it that. 2 months ago, Kirk and Collins had transferred every shared asset into private trusts and shell companies. By the time Kirk handed me divorce papers, our joint accounts were empty, and my name had been quietly removed from every meaningful piece of our life together. "You came with nothing," Collins had sneered during mediation. "You leave with nothing." The judge's gavel came down with finality. Dissolution granted. Kirk immediately pulled out his phone, no doubt messaging his father's PR team. Collins clapped his son's shoulder, both of them radiating smugness. "Congratulations," I said, gathering my purse. "I hope it was worth it." Kirk laughed. "Don't be bitter, honey. Business is business." I checked my watch, 2:58 p.m. "You're right. Speaking of business, shouldn't you be heading back to the office? That board meeting starts at 3:30. Something in my tone made Kirk's smile falter. "How did you know about—" "Just looking out for my favorite ex-husband." I turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and Kirk, you might want to have Remington from PR on standby. Just a feeling." I was halfway to my car when I heard the first shout. Looking back, I saw Kirk running out of the courthouse, phone pressed to his ear, face ashen. Collins followed moments later, barking orders into his own device. My phone buzzed. A text from Francis. "Sheriff just served the cease and desist, patent ownership verification, and infringement suit filed." I slipped into my car just as Kirk's voice carried across the parking lot. "What do you mean we can't use the core technology? That's impossible." But it wasn't impossible. They'd been so focused on stealing my financial assets, they'd forgotten about the intellectual ones. The patent that formed the foundation of their entire empire, the one they'd been illegally using for years, was still in my name. And I had 8 years' worth of documented infringement to prove it. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Xander from their accounting department. "Stock's already dropping. Board members are calling emergency meetings." I started my car, watching in the rearview mirror as Kirk paced manically, his perfect hair coming undone as he ran his fingers through it. Collins stood frozen on the courthouse steps, his face turning an interesting shade of purple as he presumably received the news about their company's core technology being legally paralyzed. They thought they'd stripped me of everything. They thought I was just the wife, the smiling engineer who'd given up her career to support her husband's ambitions. They never bothered to check whose name was on the original patents. Never imagined I'd spent years documenting every instance of infringement, every unauthorized use, every dollar they'd made off my innovations. My phone lit up with a final message, this one from my sister, Sienna. "Did you do it?" I typed back a quick response. Phase 1 complete. They never saw it coming. As I pulled out of the parking lot, I caught one last glimpse of Kirk and Collins huddled together, their empire beginning to crumble around them. They'd taught me well. Business is business, after all. And this was just the beginning. The chaos at Williamson Tech's headquarters was visible from the street. Through the glass-fronted lobby, I watched security guards escorting shell-shocked employees out of the building. IT teams had already started shutting down servers to comply with the cease and desist order. "You really did it," Bianca said, sliding into the passenger seat of my car. My old research partner looked exactly as I remembered. Sharp eyes, no-nonsense ponytail, and that same nervous habit of clicking her pen. "They did it to themselves," I replied, handing her a coffee. 8 years of unauthorized patent use. Did they think I wouldn't notice? "Kirk's holding an emergency press conference in an hour. Want to watch?" I pulled up the live stream on my tablet, just as Kirk stepped up to the podium. His tie was crooked, a detail that would have driven Collins crazy. Speaking of the devil, my father-in-law stood in the background, furiously typing on his phone. "These baseless allegations," Kirk started, but was immediately interrupted by a reporter. "Is it true your wife owned the core technology patents before your marriage?" Another jumped in. "Did Williamson Tech knowingly infringe on protected intellectual property?" Kirk's practiced charm cracked. "My wife, ex-wife, she was a junior engineer when—" "Junior engineer?" I scoffed. "I had 3 patents before I met him." Bianca squeezed my hand. "They always did underestimate you." On screen, Collins suddenly shoved Kirk aside. "This is a family matter that will be resolved privately. Williamson Tech has operated with complete transparency." "Mr. Williamson," a reporter called out, "can you explain the $42 million in unauthorized licensing fees?" Collins' face turned red. No further questions. My phone buzzed. A text from Xander. "Collins is on the warpath. Just fired 3 people for disloyalty. Board meeting in 30 minutes. They're scrambling," Bianca observed. "What's your next move?" Before I could answer, a sleek black Mercedes pulled up to the building's entrance. A tall woman in Louboutin stepped out, her red-soled heels clicking against the pavement. "Is that Remington?" Bianca squinted. "Kirk's college girlfriend." "Head of PR," I corrected. "And yes, I was wondering when she'd show up." We watched Remington stride into the building like she owned it. Through the glass, I saw her grab Kirk's arm, leading him away from the press. Collins followed, already looking more composed. "They'll try to bury this," Bianca warned. "Remington's good at making problems disappear." I smiled. "Not this time." I pulled out my laptop, showing her the document I'd been working on. "Remember our original research? The stuff we did before Kirk convinced me to sign it over." Bianca's eyes widened as she read. "This is... You kept everything? All our early work?" "Every email, every prototype design, every line of code. And guess what? The technology they're using now. It's not just similar to our original work, it's identical." "They stole it," Bianca whispered. "They took our research and just repackaged it. with some creative accounting to hide the paper trail. I closed the laptop, but Xander's been helping me track every transaction, every dollar they made using our work. My phone lit up again. Francis this time. Judge denied their emergency motion to stay. Operations remained suspended. Through the lobby windows, we could see Kirk pacing, gesturing wildly while Remington tried to calm him down. Collins stood apart, his face illuminated by his phone screen as he presumably watched their stock price continue to plummet. "Delaney," Bianca said slowly, "what exactly are you planning?" "Justice," I replied. "Or karma, whatever you want to call it. They won't go down easily. Collins especially. He's got connections everywhere." I nodded. "I'm counting on it. The harder they fight, the more evidence they'll leave behind." Suddenly, Collins looked up from his phone, straight toward our parked car. For a moment, I thought he'd spotted us, but then I realized he was seeing his own reflection in the mirrored windows. "We should go," Bianca said, "before someone recognizes us." As I started the car, my phone buzzed one final time, a message from an unknown number. "Ms. Kent, this is Remington. We should talk, privately." "Interesting," I murmured, showing Bianca the text. "You're not actually going to meet her, are you?" I put the car in drive, watching Collins and Kirk argue through the lobby windows. "Know your enemy, right? Besides, Remington might know more than she's letting on." "Just be careful," Bianca warned. "You've drawn first blood, but they're going to hit back hard." "Good," I said, pulling away from the curb. "Let them try. I've got 8 years of receipts and I'm just getting started." In my rearview mirror, I watched Collins slam his fist against a wall, while Kirk slumped into a chair, head in his hands. Their perfect world was cracking, and through those cracks, the truth was finally starting to seep out. The rooftop bar of the Four Seasons offered a perfect view of the city skyline. I arrived 15 minutes early to find Remington already there, nursing a martini. Her red dress matched her lipstick. Both probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. "I took the liberty of ordering for you," she said, gesturing to a waiting glass of bourbon. "You still drink Woodford Reserve, right? You've done your homework." "It's my job to know things." She smiled, all white teeth and sharp edges. "Like how you managed to blindside the most powerful tech family in the state." I sipped my drink. "If you're fishing for information, you're wasting both our time." "Actually," Remington leaned forward, "I'm here to help you." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. A news alert. "Breaking! Williamson Tech sued for fraud. Kirk Williamson named in federal investigation." Remington's smile widened. "Right on schedule." "You leaked the investigation?" "Let's just say I made sure certain documents found their way to the right reporters." She pulled out a USB drive. "And there's more where that came from." I studied her carefully. "Why?" "Because 8 years ago, Kirk didn't just steal your work." Her perfectly manicured fingers tightened around her glass. "He stole mine too. The PR strategy that built their brand? All me. He promised me partnership, then married you instead." My phone buzzed again. Xander. "Board meeting just ended. Total chaos. 3 directors resigned. Collins is trying to retake control," Remington continued. "He's forcing Kirk out, claiming ignorance of any wrongdoing. But..." She slid the USB drive across the table. "These files suggest otherwise." Before I could reply, the elevator doors opened. Kirk stormed out, his face twisted with rage. "You backstabbing bitch!" he shouted at Remington. Heads turned throughout the bar. "Inside voice, Kirk," Remington said calmly. "You're making a scene. You think I wouldn't find out?" He grabbed her arm. "You fed information to the feds!" I stood up. "Let her go, Kirk." He whirled on me. "This was your plan all along, wasn't it? Turn everyone against me?" "Security's on their way," I said, nodding toward the approaching guards. "How about we take this somewhere private?" Kirk released Remington, straightening his jacket. "Fine. The conference room downstairs. Now, in the elevator, Kirk jabbed the button repeatedly, as if that would make it move faster. His cologne couldn't quite mask the smell of stress sweat. "The board's calling for your resignation," Remington said casually. "They can't force me out," Kirk snapped. "I built this company!" "No," I corrected. "You stole this company, piece by piece, person by person." The conference room was all glass and chrome, with a view of the Williamson tech building across the street. Kirk paced while Remington and I sat. "What do you want?" he finally asked. "Money? Position? Name your price." "It's not about money," I said. "It's about truth." My phone lit up with another news alert. Williamson Tech Board calls emergency session. CEO position under review. Kirk's phone rang. Colin's name flashed on the screen. "Don't answer it," Remington warned, but Kirk was already hitting accept. "Father, I can explain." Even from across the table, I could hear Collins roaring, "You incompetent fool! The SEC is investigating me because of your mistakes." "I'll fix this," Kirk promised, but Collins cut him off. "You're done. The board votes in an hour. Clean out your office." The line went dead. Kirk stared at his phone, then at us. "You planned this. Both of you." "No, Kirk." Remington stood. "You planned this 8 years ago, when you decided to build an empire on stolen ideas." My phone buzzed one last time. Xander. "Collins just ordered IT to delete everything. Too late. Already backed up the servers. You won't believe what I found." "It's over, Kirk," I said, standing to leave. "The truth's already out there." "You're wrong." He grabbed my arm. "I'll fight this. I'll sue you for defamation, for corporate espionage." "With what evidence?" Remington asked. "The evidence you just ordered deleted?" Kirk's face went pale. "How did you—" "Like I said," she smiled. "It's my job to know things." Security finally arrived, responding to the earlier scene upstairs. They escorted Kirk out, his threats echoing down the hallway. "Well," Remington gathered her purse. "That was satisfying." "Why did you really help me?" I asked. She paused at the door. "Because karma's only fair when it has good helpers. The USB drive has everything you need to finish this. Don't waste it." As she left, I looked across at the Williamson Tech building. Through the windows, I could see people rushing around, papers flying, 8 years of lies finally coming undone. My phone buzzed again. Sienna this time. "Just saw the news. You okay?" I typed back. "Better than okay. Phase 2 complete, and you won't believe what's coming next." The manila envelope landed on my kitchen table with a heavy thud. Colin sat across from me, his expensive suit wrinkled from a sleepless night. "Open it," he said. Inside were photos, newspaper clippings, and police reports from 6 years ago. My hands trembled as I recognized the headlines. "Drunk driving incident. Leaves 2 injured." The photo showed my sister Sienna's mangled car. How did you get these? You're not the only one who keeps records. Collins smiled thinly. Did Kirk ever know you covered up your sister's DUI? Paid off the victims? Falsified insurance documents? My coffee had gone cold. What do you want? Drop the patent lawsuit, walk away, or these files go public, and to the DA's office. My phone buzzed. Bianca. Where are you? Emergency board meeting in 30 minutes. Tick-tock, Delaney. Collins tapped his Rolex. The board votes on my reinstatement today. Your little coup ends now. I stood up. You really don't get it, do you? You think this is about power? It's always about power. He gathered the documents. You have until noon. After he left, I called Sienna. She answered on the first ring. They know, I said. Know what? Del, you're scaring me. About the accident. Collins has everything. Silence stretched across the line. Then, let him release it. Sienna, no. Your teaching career would be over anyway if people knew I let my sister take the fall. Her voice hardened. I was the one driving drunk. You covered for me. I won't let you sacrifice everything to protect me again. My doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Bianca. I have to go, I told Sienna. We'll figure this out. Bianca burst in as soon as I opened the door. Collins called an emergency vote. He's claiming Kirk acted alone in the patent theft. The board's buying it. Of course they are. I showed her the envelope Collins left. He's got leverage. She read through the documents, her face darkening. That bastard. He's trying to bury you with your own secrets. My phone lit up. Francis. SEC wants to interview you about the deleted servers. Today. Perfect timing, Bianca said. Collins is desperate. He wouldn't be playing this card otherwise. Another text came through, this one from Remington. Collins meeting with board members privately, offering bribes for votes. Have proof. She's still helping us? Bianca asked. The enemy of my enemy. I grabbed my laptop. Call Xander. We need those server backups. 20 minutes later, we walked into Williamson Tech's lobby. Security tried to stop us, but Remington appeared. They're with me, she said, swiping her badge. Board meetings this way. The elevator ride was tense. You sure about this? Bianca whispered. I nodded. Collins wants to play dirty. Let's play. The boardroom fell silent as we entered. Collins stood at the head of the table, mid-presentation. This is a closed meeting, he snapped. Really? I connected my laptop to the projector, because I have evidence this meeting was called illegally, without proper notice, after bribing 3 board members. Gasps around the table. Collins' face reddened. Security! Oh, and there's more. I clicked through slides. Remember those servers Kirk ordered deleted? Here's what was on them. Email after email appeared on screen. Collins directing Kirk to use my patents. Collins authorizing illegal payments. Collins orchestrating the asset transfer before my divorce. This is fabricated, Collins sputtered. The SEC has copies, Remington said smoothly, along with recordings of you offering bribes for today's vote. A board member stood up. I move to adjourn this meeting pending investigation. Seconded, another called out. Collins slammed his fist down. You think this changes anything? I still have proof of your criminal behavior, Delaney. Your sister's accident. You mean my accident? Sienna's voice rang out. She stood in the doorway, holding a folder. I have notarized confessions from everyone involved, including the insurance investigators you bribed. Collins looked from face to face, finding no allies. This isn't over. Actually, I said, it is. The FBI is waiting in the lobby to discuss those unauthorized overseas accounts Xander found, the ones where you've been hiding company money for years. He lunged for the door, but security blocked his path. Through the glass walls, we watched FBI agents approach. "You'll regret this," Collins hissed as they led him away. My phone buzzed one last time. Francis. "Judge granted our motion. Company assets frozen pending investigation." Bianca squeezed my hand. "You did it." But watching Collins being escorted out, his empire crumbling, I felt no triumph, only a hollow certainty that this victory would cost more than I'd imagined. "Phase 3 complete," I texted Sienna, but something tells me the worst is yet to come. The headline hit at 6 a.m. Williamson tech scandal. Deepens. Whistleblower reveals decade of fraud. Below it was Bianca's photo, looking polished and professional as she detailed how the company had systematically stolen innovations from their own engineers. My coffee cup shattered on the kitchen floor. 3 sharp knocks at my door. "Delaney! Open up!" Bianca's voice. I yanked the door open. "What did you do?" She pushed past me, waving her phone. "I can explain." "Explain what? How you went to the press behind my back." The story was going to break anyway. She paced my living room. Collins' lawyers were already spinning it. I had to get ahead of it. My phone started buzzing non-stop. Reporters, lawyers. Xander. Board's calling for complete audit. Everyone's panicking. "You should have told me," I said. "Like you told me about the military contracts." Bianca shot back. I froze. "What? Oh, don't play innocent." She pulled out a folder. "Collins showed me everything. How you licensed our technology to defense contractors. Made millions while I got nothing." "That's not true." She laughed bitterly. "I found the offshore accounts, Delaney. The same ones you're using to take down Collins. Half that money came from military deals using my research." My hands shook as I reached for the documents. The signatures were there. My signatures. On contracts I'd never seen. "These are forged," I whispered. "Really? Because Collins had quite a different story." Bianca's voice cracked. "He showed me proof you've been playing both sides, using me to help take down the company while you profit from the chaos." My phone buzzed again. Remington. "Turn on the news. Now." The TV flickered to life, just as Kirk stepped up to a podium outside Williamson Tech. "I was manipulated," he declared, looking appropriately contrite. "My father and my ex-wife orchestrated this fraud together. I have proof they've been secret partners for years, using the company for their own gain." "He's lying," I said. "Is he?" Bianca crossed her arms. "Because those military contracts have your signature and Collins side by side." The room spun. Collins had outplayed me, using my own tactics against me. He'd known Bianca was my weak spot, known exactly how to turn her. "I trusted you," Bianca continued, "helped you destroy them, and all this time—" "I would never betray you," I cut in. "Collins is playing us against each other, just like he played Kirk against me." "Prove it." My fingers flew across my phone, pulling up encrypted files. "Remember that USB drive Remington gave me? Look at the dates on these contracts. Look at the metadata." Bianca leaned in, frowning. "These files were created 2 weeks ago." "Exactly. Collins backdated everything." I pulled up more documents. "He's trying to make it look like we conspired together. Classic divide and conquer." Her phone rang. Colin's number. She put it on speaker. "Is it done?" His voice crackled. "Did you show her the contracts?" Bianca met my eyes. "Yes. She claims they're forged." "Of course she does. Just like she'll claim she didn't know about the military deals, the offshore accounts, the metadata proves you created these files 2 weeks ago." I cut in loudly. Silence. Then, "Delaney, always the clever one. But tell me, who will the press believe? The whistleblower who exposed corruption, or the vengeful ex-wife who got caught in her own web?" The line went dead. On TV, Kirk was still speaking, painting himself as the victim of a conspiracy between his father and ex-wife. "He played us both," Bianca said quietly. My phone lit up. Xander. "Collins just called emergency press conference. Says he has proof you and he worked together for years." Then Remington. "Kirk's claiming immunity in exchange for evidence against you and Collins." Finally, Francis. "SEC, freezing your accounts pending investigation. We need to move fast." "What's our play?" Bianca asked. I stared at the TV, at Kirk's performance of innocence, at the scrolling headlines questioning my motives, my integrity, my truth. "We go nuclear," I said. "Collins wants to claim we worked together. Fine. Let's show everyone exactly what that partnership looked like." "The real military contracts," Bianca realized. "The ones he actually signed." "Xander's been tracking them for months. Every illegal deal, every unauthorized use of patents." I grabbed my keys. "But we have to move now, before Collins can destroy the evidence." Bianca grabbed her coat. "I'm coming with you." "After everything, he played us against each other," she said firmly. "Let's return the favor." My phone buzzed one last time. Sienna. "Just saw the news. Please tell me you have a plan." I typed back quickly. "Getting proof now. Tell Francis to be ready. It's time to show Collins what real partnership looks like." The TV droned on behind us as we left, Kirk's lies filling the airwaves. But soon, very soon, the real story would come out. And this time, there would be no room for manipulation. The private vault at First National required 2 keys and a fingerprint scan. Collins had taught me that. Always secure your leverage behind multiple locks. Now I was using his lesson against him. "Ready?" Bianca asked as the vault door swung open. Inside, stacked neatly in labeled folders, was every piece of evidence I'd collected over 8 years. Real contracts, original patents, surveillance photos, and most importantly, Collins' personal ledger. "He's here," Remington texted. "Heading to his office with Kirk." Bianca and I speed-walked through the marble lobby, documents in hand. The guard recognized me from my Williamson tech days and waved us through. "Elevators are down for maintenance," he called out. "Have to use the stairs." "Maintenance?" Bianca frowned. "Or Collins?" "Both." Xander appeared from the stairwell. "He's destroying servers, shredding documents, already wiped his computer." We climbed 14 flights, my heels clicking against concrete. At the executive floor, voices echoed down the hallway. "You idiot!" Collins shouted. "Your little immunity deal exposed everything." "I had no choice," Kirk fired back. "The SEC was what? Following a trail you left like breadcrumbs? I taught you better than this." We rounded the corner. Collins and Kirk stood in the ransacked office, surrounded by shredded papers. A small fire burned in a metal trash can. "Don't bother," I said. "We have copies of everything you're burning." They spun around. Collins recovered first, smoothing his tie. "Delaney, come to admit our partnership." "Actually," I held up his ledger, "I came to show the SEC your real partnerships, the ones you documented so meticulously in your private books." The color drained from his face. "Where did you get that?" "You taught Kirk to destroy evidence." I stepped closer. "But you taught me to preserve it." Kirk lunged for the ledger. Bianca blocked him, phone recording everything. "Touch her, and assault charges get added to your list." "You're bluffing," Collins said, but his voice wavered. "That ledger's a fake." "Really?" I opened it to a marked page. "Should I read about the military contracts? The ones where you forged my signature? Or maybe the offshore accounts you opened in my name?" "I'll deny everything." "With what proof?" Xander stepped in, holding up a hard drive. "Your servers are clean. Too clean. Almost like someone deleted everything to hide the truth." Collins' phone buzzed. His face contorted as he read the message. "The SEC just seized your personal accounts," I said. "Amazing what a federal judge will authorize when presented with evidence of international fraud." Kirk slumped against the wall. "Father, what did you do?" "What I had to!" Collins roared. "To build this company, to give you everything." "To steal everything," Bianca corrected, still recording. Security guards appeared in the doorway, followed by FBI agents. "Collins Williamson?" An agent stepped forward. "We have a warrant for your arrest." "You can't prove anything," Collins snarled as they cuffed him. I held up the ledger. "Actually, you proved everything. Every deal, every theft, every fraud, documented in your own handwriting." Kirk tried to slip away, but another agent blocked him. "Sir, we have questions about your role as well." As they led Collins out, he turned to me. "I made you. Without me, you'd still be a nobody engineer." "No," I said quietly. "You just took credit for what I built. And now? Now everyone knows the truth." My phone lit up with notifications. The story was breaking across all networks. Williamson tech founder arrested. Decades of fraud exposed. Remington appeared, looking satisfied. "Press is waiting downstairs. Want to make a statement?" "Actually," I handed her the ledger. "I think the evidence can speak for itself." Bianca stopped recording. "What happens now?" "Now?" I watched Collins and Kirk being escorted to waiting police cars. "Now we rebuild. The right way." Xander nodded toward the boardroom where shell-shocked executives gathered. "Board's asking for you. They want to discuss the company's future. Tell them I'll be there in 5 minutes." I turned to Bianca. "Partners?" She smiled, extending her hand. "Partners. For real this time." My phone buzzed one last time. Sienna. "Just watched Collins' arrest live on TV. You okay?" I looked around the office where I'd spent 8 years being underestimated, overlooked, and stolen from. Now it was just an office. No more shadows, no more secrets. "Better than okay," I texted back. "It's finally over." But as I headed to the boardroom, Collins' words echoed. "I made you." He was wrong. He hadn't made me. He'd tried to break me. Instead, he'd taught me how to fight back, how to win. And now it was time to show everyone what I could build from the ashes of his empire. The courtroom fell silent as Collins shuffled in, orange jumpsuit replacing his custom suits. 3 months had passed since his arrest, but he'd aged years. Kirk sat on the other side, wearing a court-mandated ankle monitor. "All rise," the bailiff called. I smoothed my skirt, standing. Sienna squeezed my hand from the bench behind me. The United States versus Collins and Kirk, the judge began, on charges of fraud, embezzlement, and corporate espionage. Collins' lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client wishes to change his plea. My breath caught. Beside me, Francis tensed. We accept the prosecution's deal, the lawyer continued. Guilty on all counts, in exchange for reduced sentencing. Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Kirk's head snapped up, betrayal written across his face. Father, you promised, he started. Order. The judge banged his gavel. Mr. Williamson Sr., you understand the terms? Full cooperation, including testimony against all co-conspirators? Collins nodded, not looking at Kirk. I understand. Very well. Sentencing will be held next week. As for the civil settlements, Francis stood. We've reached agreements with all parties, Your Honor. Ms. Kent will retain controlling interest in the company patents. The board has approved restructuring plans. No! Kirk shot up. You can't give her everything! Sit down, his lawyer hissed. She planned this. She... Mr. Williamson, Jr., the judge warned. Your own plea deal depends on your cooperation. Kirk slumped back, defeated. I felt Remington's presence behind me, her testimony against Kirk having sealed his fate days ago. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Ms. Kent, how does it feel to take control of Williamson Tech? Any comment on Collins's guilty plea? Will you testify at Kirk's trial? Bianca appeared, creating a path through the crowd. No questions. Ms. Kent has a board meeting to attend. In the car, my phone buzzed constantly. Xander. Stock's up 15% since Collins's plea. Investors love the new leadership. Then Francis. Settlement papers ready. You'll have full control by end of week. Finally, Remington. Kirk's lawyer reaching out. He wants to make a deal. Let him sweat, Bianca said, reading over my shoulder. He deserves it. We pulled up to Williamson Tech, soon to be renamed Kent Innovations. The board waited in the main conference room, along with key investors. The plea changes everything, one director said as we entered. We need to act fast, rebuild public trust. I have a plan, I said, connecting my laptop to the projector. Complete transparency, new patents, and this. The screen showed blueprints for revolutionary medical tech, my secret project for the past 3 years. Is that... Bianca leaned forward. Neural interface technology? For paralysis patients, I nodded. No more stealing innovations. We create them. The board members exchanged looks. One spoke up. The development costs are covered, Remington cut in, sliding over contracts. 3 major hospitals already committed to trials. My phone lit up. Sienna. Just saw Collins leaving court. He looked broken. Good, I typed back. Some things need to break to be rebuilt right. The meeting continued, plans taking shape, new direction, new purpose, new legacy. Afterward, Bianca caught my arm. There's something you should see. She led me to my new office, Collins' old space. On the desk sat a small box. Security found it in his private safe, she explained. It's addressed to you. Inside was a single sheet of paper. Collins' handwriting. You won. But at what cost? Power changes people. I should know. He's trying to get in your head, Bianca said. No, I crumpled the note. He's afraid I'll succeed where he failed. My phone buzzed again. An unknown number. Ms. Kent, this is Amanda from Global Tech Weekly. We're doing a feature on women revolutionizing the industry. Would you be interested in sharing your story? I showed Bianca the message. What do you think? I think, she smiled, it's time to show the world what real innovation looks like. Looking out the window at the city skyline, I felt the weight of everything, the victory, the responsibility, the future. Collins was right about one thing. Power does change people. But he never understood that change could be for the better. Set up the interview, I told Bianca. But first, call Sienna. I want to show her something. The Neural Interface Project? No. I smiled. The Children's STEM Foundation we're launching. Some legacies aren't built on power. They're built on possibility. My phone buzzed one final time. Francis. Sentencing date set. Need you to make a statement. I typed back. Tell them I'm too busy building the future to dwell on the past. Because that's what victory really meant. Not destroying what was, but creating what could be. The neural interface prototype glowed softly on my desk as the young reporter leaned forward, recorder in hand. So, Ms. Kent, after everything, the trial, the settlements, taking control of the company, what's next? Before I could answer, my office door burst open. Sienna rushed in, waving a tablet. They did it! She exclaimed. Sarah took her first steps. I apologized to the reporter and clicked the video Sienna thrust at me. On screen, a teenage girl gripped parallel bars, our neural interface device blinking at her temples. Slowly, deliberately, she moved one foot, then another. Send this to Bianca, I said, wiping my eyes. She's been working with Sarah since day one. Already did. Sienna grinned. The whole medical team's celebrating. 23 successful trials and counting. The reporter cleared her throat. This is the paralysis treatment you developed? That we developed, I corrected, gesturing to the framed photos on my wall. Our team, our labs, our successes. No one builds the future alone. My phone buzzed. Remington. Kirk requesting meeting. Says it's important. Speaking of the past, I showed Sienna the message. Are you going to see him? I considered it. Kirk had served 6 months of house arrest, while Collins faced another 5 years in prison. Both had lost everything, except, apparently, their ability to intrude on my life. Yes, I decided. One last time. The prison visiting room was cold and sterile. Kirk sat at a metal table, looking smaller without his expensive suits and practiced charm. Thank you for coming, he said. Make it quick. I saw the news about your medical trials, the neural interface. He paused. It's remarkable. That's not why you called me here. He pulled out a manila envelope, so similar to the one Collins had used to threaten me all those months ago. What's this? More blackmail? No. He pushed it across the table. It's an apology and a warning. Inside were documents showing Collins had been running operations from prison, trying to manipulate company stock, pressure board members, orchestrate one final power play. Why are you showing me this? Because I'm done being his puppet. Kirk met my eyes. And because he's still trying to destroy what you built. My phone lit up. Bianca. Emergency board meeting called. Collins' lawyer making waves. Let me guess, I told Kirk. The board meeting today? He nodded. Father thinks he can force a sale, split the company. Why help me stop him? Because I finally realized something. Kirk stood. You didn't steal the company from us. You saved it from us. Back at the office, the boardroom crackled with tension. Collins' lawyer stood at the head of the table, wielding documents. My client retains certain rights, he began. Your client, I interrupted, is still trying to manipulate this company from his prison cell. Gasps around the table. I laid out Kirk's evidence. So, here's what's going to happen, I continued. The board will vote to permanently bar Collins from any involvement. His remaining shares will be converted to the Children's STEM Foundation. And you, I turned to his lawyer, will tell him it's over. You can't. Actually, Remington stepped forward. She can. The SEC has already approved the measure. It's just waiting for signatures. One by one, the board members signed. Collins' last grip on power slipped away. My phone buzzed. Xander. Sarah's video going viral. Stock hit record high. Then Sienna. Hospital called. 3 more patients approved for trials. Finally, Francis. Collins got the news. He's not happy. Good, I typed back. Tell him to watch the video of Sarah walking. That's what real power looks like. The reporter from earlier caught me in the lobby. Ms. Kent, can we finish our interview? Actually, I smiled. Come with me. I want to show you something better than answers. We drove to the rehabilitation center, where Sarah and other patients worked with our interface technology. Dreams becoming reality, step by careful step. This, I told the reporter, watching Sarah walk with growing confidence. This is what comes after revenge, after power, after winning. And what's that? Purpose, I said simply. The kind that builds instead of breaks. My phone lit up one last time. An email from Collins, probably full of threats or bargains or regrets. I deleted it without reading, because the truth was, he hadn't made me. He hadn't broken me. He'd simply shown me what I never wanted to become. And now, watching Sarah take another step forward, I finally understood. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. It's building something so beautiful they become irrelevant. Ready for that interview? The reporter asked. I nodded, eyes still on Sarah's triumphant smile. Yes, I said. Let's talk about the future.